Hello and welcome to more Elvenly Chaos. And the source of today's chaos you already see behind me. And that is indeed a skeleton spawner, which we need to urgently turn into a farm. And we are not only doing the functional bit, nope, we're also gonna make it pretty by building a building around it, or more so above it. It will make sense once we get to that part. Obviously I want to link it up with my secret? Not actually secret, but with my redstone basement. And you know, I could just go into the F3 screen and look at the coordinates. However, for that I'm gonna break the fourth wall for a moment. I'm not fond of using the F3 screen in survival, as it kinda breaks the immersion in my opinion. How would an elf know the exact coordinates and what graphics card he's using and stuff like that? So I'm gonna do it the difficult way. But that has another plus. Not only not breaking the immersion, but you also get familiar with your place, with your world, in a much more intricate way. So, I know for example that my redstone hall is lined up with that tower. So that's the center of the hall. However, I do know that the entrance for the skeleton farm is 5 blocks off to the side. Have we counted right? Yes. That means we have to dig down here to eventually hit the corridor that are already prepared. Huh? Just like that, we have linked up these two things without having to look at the debug screen. Alright, and that's actually way closer than I thought. And yeah, for those of you new to the series, this is my redstone hall with so far only a somewhat working kelp farm and auto smelter. But we will fix it up properly once we have access to XP, because that really has been holding us down. Oh, Endermen have been busy here, haven't they? Alright, the first part of course is, with any spawner, or any spawner based farm, is to dig out this bit here. As you can see, I dug out the whole thing all the way towards the surface, and when I show you the tinted glass, you probably know why. Because now comes the part where we have to decorate the place, at least somewhat. Now that does look awesome, and one wonders why the skeletons have a fancier ceiling than I do myself. Oh well, why not try something like that? I think the barrel should be enough to prevent things from spawning, and the rest just so it looks fancy. Yeah, I think that works. Then comes the most difficult part, and that is to funnel the skeletons where they need to go. Time to fill in the water. And once they are all washed down from this platform, they get pushed down here, where we have our regular mob elevator, powered by some kelp. However, for kelp we need water. How do we do that? The least awkward way. I don't think there is a very unawkward way for that. And then the kelp. Okay, that should have reached all the way to the top. Yep, it sure has. And our water source here should be all that's needed. And then we come out right here, and they should be on very low health once they arrive here. And as this is a single player world, I've decided to not include an off and on switch, but rather have a campfire down there, so that even without me around giving them their last punch, that they still will die, and that way we can gather up lots of bones, which will be very useful. Let's start with the one at the back. And then those to the sides. And everything should be good. Okay, they're battling each other now. Let's look at it from above. Yeah, that's very beautiful. Very beautiful indeed. But one thing I still need to test out, if it actually really works, because I'm a bit worried that we might be a bit too far away. We will give it a test, shall we? If nothing is coming, then we are too far away. The issue, however, is that I already extended the tube as far up as possible, so there isn't much I can do. Yeah, but nope, there isn't anything coming. Nope. That was the wrong block. Certainly the wrong block. Much better. Let's for now just cut off the farm right there. And maybe deal with the zombie first. Don't set me on fire, you jerk. Alright, I rerouted now the hopper from here to there. We only now need to open the floodgates and make sure that's actually all safe it is. Is there a block missing? Why is there a block missing? Oh. Derp. Oh gosh. Let's wait until they have passed and check what we actually have done there. Because something is clearly not working. How do I always mess up the simplest of things? Oh, I see. I think another fence gate was fixed that issue, right? No, why are you now down here? Seriously? You're aware that once I open that fence gate, you're toast. Well, your own decision, dude. Your own decision. Well, I think we can close it up now. Should now work. Maybe. Hopefully. Ideally. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, apparently the trader is now blocking the farm. God, please help me. Ways you just never thought about you could mess up in. Well, but I think boats is the way here. We could of course just kill the trader, or kill the llamas, or both of them, but I think we choose the peaceful way. Why is the trader still not falling? What on earth? Can he walk on water? Is he secretly Jesus? Why is that guy not falling? I don't understand. Well, that Enderman is still up that roof. I don't know why. Must be about an hour by now. I just don't understand it. Everyone's crazy here. Yeah, I think we just have to kill that guy. I'm so sorry, but... Phew, he's still alive. Alright, 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 alright. Calm down, calm down. Well, that's a lot of arrows. But we still have a blockage. Interesting. Very interesting. I have no clue. I'm out of clues. Compared to the kelp farm from last episode, I really didn't think I could mess up here, but apparently I was wrong. Very wrong. Okay, that's just mob cramming now. Is the water stream too low? What is happening here? I'm not fully understanding why this isn't working. If we remove that block, why is that guy just chilling there? Definitely shouldn't do that. Oh, right, of course. I'm missing a block of water there, which I had removed. Okay, now I feel kinda stupid. Okay, that could get a bit tricky. Yep, that answers every question. Yeah, now it's working. But I still will leave that glass here, just in case. Just in case. But with that, the skeleton farm's pretty much done. What we now need to think about is an on and off switch for the auto killing. I mean, that's one way. Yeah, a water bucket causes that problem. Maybe we just have to unlight it manually. I mean, that does work, right? It doesn't always need to be too fancy. And they still have a bit more health than I would like, to be honest. We could have them fall through lava, but maybe then they take a bit too much damage, because obviously they will keep burning. Oh boy. Yeah, I forgot about those slimes. Magma cubes, I should say. Fiery slimes. Same thing, really. Scoop up the lava, that's why I came here. And then let's clean up those guys, and then we can leave. It's already way more excitement than I was planning for. Alright. Are we all calm now? Calm and peaceful? Oh. Oh, pop. I didn't have my shield in hand, so I thought eating would save me. Oh boy. Why is it always happening to me? Where did that skeleton came from anyway? Where even is my shield? Oh, now they come through the portal. Of course they do. Seriously, where's my shield? I don't think there's lava around, so it should be... should be somewhat fine. Somewhat fine. There's still stuff. But I think I've got everything. Can't even harvest some magma cream in peace. Where actually to put the lava? They will probably die. Maybe? Nope, this one didn't. That actually seems to work quite perfectly. Once they stop burning, they don't... I haven't seen a single one dying from fire damage, but once they are done, you can just punch them. Of course, not the armored one, but the other ones. So I think that works out perfectly. I mean, isn't it ironic that a skeleton killed me in the nether while I'm building my skeleton farm? I guess it's really just karma at that point. And now that the farm is done, and it's actually working pretty well, it is time to make it pretty around here. Before we finally get to the build project up above, which will be the largest project for this episode actually. But you already know about that because you clicked on the thumbnail. So why am I even telling you about that? About decorating down here. Eventually, I also want to include a minecart to bring all the loot we get from the farm back to a redstone hall into the main bulk storage, as I don't fancy carrying all that stuff back and forth by hand. And as you can see, the drop rates are actually fairly good. And first and foremost, it's of course also a decently quick way to replenish our XP once again, as we've lost it once again, as I'm apparently a big elven potato. But decorating down here also requires lots of digging. Once again. Yeah, there definitely are a few common themes, aren't there? Alright, let's get digging. See you on the flip side. And the farm is now done. Keeping in the theme with the hall, I've used stuff for the walls as well as the ceiling for the small tunnel leading towards the farm. We might decorate it a bit more once we complete the main hall, but for now I leave it rather clean with just enough interest by these small wooden, how would you call them, dividers? Which bring in a bit more stability and, well, really just break up the long tunnel. And at the end of the tunnel, we will enter the killing chamber, where I used the deep slate from the farm itself to tie it a bit in and only have the tuff on the ceiling. And here I finally used those squirrely blocks. I put a few barrels and chests around just to make it more cluttered, and eventually I will add even more clutter. And of course we can also use them for, you know, bulk storage, as this will fill up with all kinds of trash quite quickly. And as you can see, we also have a way up, which leads all the way to the surface, and we will tie that in with the building later on. So I don't want to keep it as scaffolding, but for now that works fine. And also working fine is the farm, where I've now used trapdoors to make it a bit slicker. And I hear you saying, Tony, there's a button, and there are trapdoors. This is just a recipe to disaster. But be reassured, I have thought of this. This trapdoor, which is in danger of being flipped by that button, is actually powered from behind the block. So it doesn't matter how often I press the button. Oh, there's no flint and steel inside there. My bad. But it doesn't matter how often I press the button. The trapdoor does not flap. Whatever. But the farm is doing good. Oh. Wait, why is that? Is that because of the lever? Okay, now I feel stupid. Well, turns out you should really test things before recording. But apparently, if we just have the button towards the side, it works without the flapdoor being flapped. Flapdoor, trapdoor, oh gosh. Without the trapdoor being flipped. That's actually the correct phrasing, isn't it? Oh dear. Seems to be a bug that has jumped over to me. Oh well. But now that works, and the trapdoors stay put in place. And with that, we can also add 2 more. You may wonder why, but that has a simple reason. If that campfire is on, so the skeletons die without my interference, then the items can fly out and away from the hopper. So we can simply close it off, so everything gets collected. And if we are there, well, we still have enough access. The only issue the farm has is that I have to stand somewhere over in this corner, so we're actually close enough for it to spawn. But if we AFK directly in front of the hopper or over here, doesn't really make a difference. So now all I have to do now is to wait for enough skeletons to reach level 30. So we can finally have a proper pickaxe. Beautiful. And now that we have our 30 levels... Oh, that no moose. We'll light the fire and close the doors. Finally. It is time. Do I have... Oh, yeah. Of course I have a crafting table in here. Because you always need one. Was it always just Fortune 2? I thought it was Fortune 3 last time I looked at it. Are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? It is only on a diamond pickaxe Fortune... What on... Alright. I'll get Fortune 3 then. Even if it's just iron. It makes sense. The next one would be Efficiency 4. Alright. Back to the skeleton grinder. The Enderman, by the way, is still there. Don't know why, don't know how. And are you kidding me? Why is there yet another wandering trader on exact the same spot? But this time actually there are some interesting items, but don't have many emeralds. So, not happening. Not happening. Alright, let's see. Efficiency 4 and Unbreaking. Unfortunately no Silk Touch, but that is alright. And now with a proper pickaxe at hand, I think it is finally time to start work on the big building. Or at least almost. As the barn behind us has pretty much eaten up all of my calcite, I need to gather some more. But fortunately, while caving, I found another geode. Even that dude agrees. So let's once again head down into the caves and harvest this geode as well. Oh, that is what the constant spider noises were. We found another dungeon. I was on top of that all the time. Oh, and there's a fancy one. Hey, yo. Yeah, I know you can get me, but you're too stupid, apparently. Okay. Oh, that was easy. Anything around the corner that wants to eat me? Except for fall damage. Okay, do we have interesting... Oh, a music disc! Actually the first in this world. So that's awesome. That geode actually was massive. And that amount of calcite should last at least a little while. Ever since they announced the creaking, I'm much more wary about these woods. Oh, and Enderman update. It's still there, not moving. But with everything finished up down below, it is finally time to cover this up with a grand old build. And with all these resources collected, there's no reason to further wait. And that calls for a proper time lapse. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Was that me? redoing half of the build after being finished? Despite pre-planning? Yep, it certainly was. But here it is. The finished skeleton farm tower. Originally I had these triangle-shaped roofs on all 4 sides, and I sketched it out roughly in creative beforehand and was fairly happy with it, but once I put it in here, I just realized it doesn't work, as it looked way too rural. Which makes sense for a barn or also the starter base with the triangle-shaped roofs, but this building is supposed to look a bit more grander, in fact be the beginning of a small town, so I needed something a bit more, in fact simple, and you could really say that I simplified the build, but I think it works out much better that way. And I'm particularly fond of the roof. For a long time I always struggled with doing those cone-shaped roofs, but I think this one worked out great. And as you can see, the whole tower has kind of a cone shape to it, as we have the small roofings on the bottom floor with the walls all the way around it. I thought it was kind of a nice touch. And also helped to bring in, after we removed the triangles up top, still the bamboo down here. And the main grand entrance is on this side, and because we have the wall all around it, I think we can just leave them open. After all, this is not our... nobody lives here. It's really just to have a beautiful view on top of these poor skeletons. That one's still resisting its fate. Yeah, not anymore. And apart from the fancy ceiling, the chandelier, and those 2 flower pots, I'm really not too sure what else to put in here, but I don't think it also needs a lot. After all, that's its sole purpose. And if we look 1 floor further up, well, you notice that it's completely empty here. If you have any ideas what we could put in here, leave them in the comments. An obvious thing would of course be an enchanting setup, but then again we have that down there in our secret cave. We of course could have another one here, or generally just a library. That might work out well, we'll see. And as you can see, up towards the top, of course the footprint gets smaller and smaller, but there's room for at least 2 more floors. Even though the second one wouldn't have any windows. So maybe just 1 more floor, and we have kind of a nice view. Oh, there's still the tamed llama, which I haven't brought into the stable yet. And as you can see, I've also connected up the pathways. 1 to the stable, and the other one to the stable too, but really more towards the farm on the backside. And why is it raining again? Oh well. But talking about rain and dislike of rain, there's our Enderman friend, still hanging in there, walking around on the same 5 blocks. Was it just 4? I think it can't reach that one, so maybe just 4. Not going anywhere. But talking about Enderman, look what they've done. 1 apparently put that grass block down here, and all the llamas decided it's much cooler in the sheep pen. I don't know why they thought... oh, sorry. I don't know why they thought that would be a thing, or that would be cool, but ooh. Now it's mad at me. But they did. And now they're all there. And one's spitting at me. Great. And one last detail I might want to mention is that I exchanged that trapdoor for a jungle trapdoor, as it blends in with the packed mud quite nicely, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it having transparency in it. But the color choice is more important here. So I've exchanged the scaffolding with just ladders and our farm. I mean, there's not much in here, but there certainly is here, as well as there. Well, that farm is producing big time. But with that, my friends, I think it's about time to end this episode, as I once again spent way more time on it than it was planned. I mean, a lot of it is due to having to rebuild half of the tower, of course. But as it stands now, I'm very happy with it. I hope you like it too. And if you have any ideas for the second floor, please send them my way. And in general, if you have ideas what we should build in this world, and if you want to see how this world continues, then make sure to subscribe to stand up to date with all future videos, as there will be more, many more. I hope you had a great time. I certainly have. And I'm looking forward to see all of you once again next episode. Take care. Have a good time. Bye. The thorn guy has so... God. That guy has thorns. That's unfair.